week three recipes. We're gonna be making cookies, brownies. There's numerous different kinds and things. So we've got a lot of fun stuff for you to do and work through and have some fun. Call the neighbors over. They're gonna be eating a lot of little cookies and brownies and spritz cookies and things like that. But the spritz cookie and the chocolate chip cookie are gonna be your most important ones. So make sure you check those videos out. We're gonna start first this week with a biscotti. Now, biscotti is technically what we call the sponge method. Sponge method cookies, where we actually make out like a bar and then we're gonna end up cutting them. We're gonna take a bowl here, and we're gonna take all of our dry ingredients and go ahead and put them in. That's the flour, baking powder, we've got cinnamon, almond flour, and of course that almond flour can be switched out for hazelnut flour, pecan flour, all kinds of different stuff like that. Then we've got our sugar. So once we've got all that in there, we're gonna grab our melted butter. I just microwave it, it's just fun. You could use oil in case if you wanted to, but I'm gonna take the melted butter and my egg, okay? I'm gonna take my fork, just give that a little break up there. Once that comes together, take our rubber spatula and mix all of our dry ingredients together. Wow, it's looking a little bit like some of our muffin method stuff from last week, but as you'll read in this week's chapter, they call this the bar cookie method / sponge mixing method, which I think is pretty interesting. But, I just go back, I figure it's a nice transition from doing all the quick breads last week to this. All right, so I'm gonna make a well in there, pour all that in, start mixing, and then as soon as I start mixing, I can go ahead and dump in my variegate. Now in this case, guys, I've given you guys some craisins. You could use chocolate chips, pecans, walnuts, anything dry that goes in there. This goes really nice multiple times a year. This cookie holds really well. So you can make this in the holiday season, and it can be something that you can actually package on the shelf, and you don't have to add anything to it, because the idea is it's a very dry, twice baked cookie. So once this comes together, just want to work that a little bit. Everything to be saturated with our fat and our egg. And you'll notice it'll just kind of come right together for us. Now we're going to take this in one big ball to start, okay? And then we're going to split it into two. I'm just going to make a ball with it first. This will make sure that all of the ingredients are incorporated. Now after you get it into that ball, we're going to make it into like an oval. And then you can start shaping it into a log. After you get it shaped into the log, we're going to take the two logs and we're going to put them on our pan. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to flatten those out just a little bit. All right, and we're going to put those in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes, maybe 17 to start. We're not looking for it to be totally baked, but we want it to be set enough so that we can cut them when they cool, and then we'll lay them on the sides, and then we'll be able to dry those out. So we'll get back to that part of the second video. Biscottis. Oh yeah, these are nice. Nice, deep color on the outside, a little springy in the middle, which is what we wanted. I can go ahead and bring these over to our pan, and you can let these cool for quite some time, but in this case, just for classroom, I'm gonna go ahead and take this serrated blade, and I'm going to carefully cut through our cookies, about a ½ inch thick. And you want to use that serrated blade so that that doesn't happen. Take your time, be patient. And you can take these and you can turn them on their sides, like so. Like I said, letting them cool off for a little bit might help. But you can see that nice cut That shape, that domed kind of shape is very, very indicative of a well-made biscotti. And then we're going to stick these in the oven and bake them for a second time so that they dry out. You'll actually be able to tap them like a crouton. And at that point, you know that they're done. All right, so we put our biscottis in for the second bake. These are a little bit on the dark side. However, part of that is the craisins. Craisins tend to add a little bit of extra sugar and they'll get a little brown. But now what we have is that crunchy, like crouton-like texture. The middle's a little soft, but you can hear it. That's typical. These are good. You can see that color. I think my oven, because I had the temperature up at 400 for the muffins and everything that we were filming today as well, I probably could have gone a little bit lower temperature. So play with that at home. Pay attention to your colors. But a color like that is acceptable for Europe. However, it might be a little too much for our American palates. Remember, this also sometimes gets dipped in white chocolate and then it gets presented like in a nice little cookie bouquet or on a platter. You make these small enough and technically that is a petit four sec. So that is our biscottis. Have fun.